Alright, what's up, guys? I'm back at it once again. This is Krod with another good video tonight, as I am going to talk about why Canelo Alvarez is afraid to fight Jermall Charlo. See, now, I'm going to be straightforward. I'm not the one to talk a lot of smack about other fighters, but if I have to, then I got to. Because this is boxing. This isn't the NBA. This isn't like the sport where people in the NBA have to avoid other NBA basketball players. When you called up to the court, you're going to be going up against like the best comp on the court. And whatever is held on the court is going to stay on the court. So the same principle applies to boxing. Whatever is held in the ring will stay in the ring. It won't ever leave the ring. See, now, let's make it clear about what is needed for, I guess, like the sport of boxing. Boxing needs to have people that want to fight, the best of the best. Boxing should never be a sport where people avoid other fighters. There should always be the super highly talented boxers in the world that have that Mortal Kombat tunnel vision mentality, like this could be my last time fighting in the ring and living in this world. Because boxing is something where you just don't play boxing. You don't just go outside with like your friends and just hey, let's just start hitting each other with gloves. No, boxing is a true science of the making, where you have to take the sport very seriously and you have to understand about all the disciplinary actions that come behind, the sport of boxing. See, now, my biggest issue of what I have with today's boxing is that a lot of fighters keep avoiding other fighters. See, now, for a guy like Saul Canelo Alvarez, who claims to say he's a 4-time world champion, bullshit. He's a 3-time world champion because he has been avoiding the best competition ever, as we know that a guy like Jermall Charlo has been his mandatory for the past 5.5 years, but more so at the time when Jermall Charlo wanted to fight Canelo Alvarez, Canelo was too much of a pussy to basically avoid Charlo, and Charlo, he basically even said to Canelo, I'll fight you in Mexico. And shit, I'm more Mexican than you. Excuse my French for the video because I'm really angry and boxing can get emotional for some people. For me, I'm not emotional, but I like to be very, very crude towards people that don't know boxing. And granted, I'm very, well educated in the sport, but, I don't act like a retard and I don't talk in a very biased manner. But for certain things that I say in boxing that may be a little bit, disrespectful, I apologize. I mean, this is YouTube. This isn't, a TV show. Obviously, if it was a TV show, it'd be a lot different. But then again, this is free speech. So let's get right back to it. Charlo has been wanting to fight Canelo. Charlo has not been avoiding Canelo like some of these Canelo bitches have to say. But when it came to Charlo at 160, when Canelo was basically defeating the division by cheating, because he was caught with steroids, he was protected by, Mauricio Suleiman to get away with taking steroids, and Suleiman just basically stands right next to him and say, oh no, he didn't do anything wrong, he didn't do anything bad. Canelo, Canelo, he's a good boy. He's such a holy saint that no Mexican fighter would ever do that, right? But no, it's true. Like Canelo, he was caught taking steroids in certain portions of his career, and Suleiman has been protecting him like a whore, like any other, asshole for, title commissions or whatever. But yeah, the WBC president, Mauricio Suleiman, had protected Canelo at the time for him, I guess taking steroids. And then when Canelo was the champion at 160 pounds, Canelo requested a franchise belt, or aka the French fries belt, to avoid Charlo, to give up his belt at 160 to bump up to 168, and then go fight. Hold on, let me pull up BoxRec, because I can easily get this taken down easily. Canelo Alvarez, BoxRec. Yeah, I can easily put this shit to rest. All right. So when he was supposed to fight, all right, what is up, guys? Okay, sorry. When he was supposed to fight Charlo for 160, this was after Floyd Mayweather had beat him, where he started going, Mr. Cherry Picker, and then he decided to fight Alfredo Angulo, TKO'd him, and after that he fought Lara, which Lara gave him problems, and Lara, technically beat him that night. But I would say when he got up to 168 after, let's just say he got up to 160. Actually, looking at his record, he never went up to 168. Like, anywhere close to 168 was over with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. at 164, which, that really wasn't a fight. That was more like a gimme. Oh, 168, yeah, Rocky Fielding. When Canelo was supposed to, fight Charlo at 160, leading up to, I would say, either the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight, or I would say after the James... no, I wouldn't even go there because he was at 154. Yeah, I would say after the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight, leading to the Gennady Golovkin era, or the, trilogy, whatever, or the series, he was supposed to fight Charlo, around that time of 2016, leading to, or possibly leading before, the start of, 2015. So after Canelo moved up from 154 after cherry picking James Kirkland, who came off of a hard loss of an injury, I think, or came off of like a year layoff or some shit like that, after he got his shit rocked by Lara, when he knew, he don't want to fight no more slick fighters. He wanted to cherry pick Kirkland, KO him in 3. He then fought Cotto and, Amir Khan, which, they were not in the best condition. But, yeah, his very first fight at 160 was with Gennady Golovkin. And he was supposed to fight Charlo, before Gennady Golovkin. So Charlo was already calling, Canelo out, leading into that time frame of 2015, leading into possibly 2017. So he's already been avoiding Charlo this whole time. But even prior to now, how many opponents has Canelo really fought ever since then? And the answer is that for the opponents that he's been facing within time frames, he's been fighting opponents that don't have enough time to prepare. Like for Kovalev, he came off of a very hard win against Anthony Yarde, and Kovalev had what? I can look into that. That fight happened on November 2nd. When he fought Yarde, that was on August 24th. So he barely had time to get ready to fight Canelo, which Canelo forced that fight. to Kovalev. So yeah, Kovalev, he wasn't in proper shape to fight Canelo. So yeah, like Canelo was basically there for a payday. But no, Kovalev probably just took it because he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get myself a payday, so I'll take advantage of it. But yeah, at that time, Canelo, he could have fought a guy like Dmitry Bivol at light heavyweight. He could have fought a whole mess of guys. Artur Beterbiev, he would have put the hands on Canelo. Jesse Hart would put the hands on him. Jean Pascal would put the hands on him. Marcus Brown would light the storm with him. Like Joshua Buatsi would definitely beat the crap out of Canelo. There's so many people that Canelo don't want to fight. And even at 160, Callum Smith wanted to fight Canelo. And guess what? Canelo did not want to give him that opportunity. Canelo wants to be that type of fighter to cherry pick for the rest of his career where he can get a 90-10 odds or honestly, just a high 100% close advantage to be guaranteed the win for his fights. That's basically what Canelo wants to do. He don't want to fight the best. All these damn YouTubers that defend him that say, "Oh, Canelo, he already sent the offers out to Charlo. He said to Jermall that he wanted to fight him, and then when the offer was sent, Jermall didn't take the offer because they weren't given the right offer for the money that was given to them, or more so, they were just avoiding them. When clearly that's not even fucking true, because when Canelo fought Gennady, I think that was guaranteed $30 to $40 million for Canelo, and Gennady he got $5 to $10 million, which I mean that's still a crap load of money, but still, it's nothing is stopping Charlo to fight Canelo. The problem is that Canelo does not want to fight Charlo. He doesn't want to fight either of them. Shit, he doesn't want to. Yeah, he does not want to fight. Yeah, he does not want to fight Andrade. And then he even says that, oh, I don't want to fight my own Mexican blood brethren, like people like Benavidez or Jaime Munguia, which Jaime would give Canelo the work. I know that for a fucking fact. Excuse my French. He would beat the crap out of Canelo. You realize, for all you Mexicans, man, you guys are such a disgrace to boxing. For the men at least. For the women, I'll always love y'all. Kenya Enriquez, Mariana Juarez, Diana Fernandez. I think that's her last name. She's a very beautiful woman. A whole bunch of women. Because those girls actually have the courage to fight. But for the men, these men ain't going out of their way to actually fight. Well, for Canelo at least. For Jaime, I can give him respect, but he needs to work on his defense. He needs to definitely be careful with his with his shots of how he fights, and I think eventually he'll be on his way to becoming a huge great in the sport of boxing. I mean, he's definitely fought names. You can see it down below. Patrick Elodi, which I mean, he's not the best fighter, but he's decent to say the least. He has a good record, which honestly he he hasn't really fought any high level comp other than Patrick Teixeira. So yeah, no, he's been fighting people within his country. He's not really fighting anybody of that high caliber. I apologize. Yeah, but I mean Dennis Hogan, that's a good fight. Takashi Inoue, that was a fucking good fight. Saddam Ali, that could have went further, but yeah, that was a fun fight to watch. I don't even think Saddam was even in you know, full I guess like athletic condition to take him on. You know, other fights. Yeah, honestly, Jaime has just been fighting most of his, you know, native, you know, population, or been fighting Mexican fighters within his country before he stepped it up to high level competition to challenge for the WBO title for Saddam, then Liam Smith, and then Brandon Cook. Yeah, he's from Canada. He's not that good of a fighter, to say the least. I mean, that was like a decent fight, but the Liam Smith fight, that was a tough ass fight at 142 at a catch weight. And then the Dennis Hogan fight, that was a very tough one. Um, yeah, honestly, like Jaime, he has a good, decent record. I mean, I would put him as a 4-star or a 5-star superstar. You know, champion. He could definitely be up there. I mean, Chris Eubank would be would be a good fight for Canelo. You know, like Canelo, he has options. He does not need to be, you know, avoiding all this good competition that could really give him problems out of the top 25 ranked fighters in the, you know, middleweight division. And I think when it comes to him and Charlo, Charlo does not want to wait up on Canelo. He wants to get the fight going with Canelo. And Canelo, he isn't making himself look good for his brand, for his people, and honestly, for the country of Mexico. Yeah, he's basically embarrassing the whole you know, popularity down there. So I guess to put this to sleep, Canelo has been the one avoiding Charlo because he did request a franchise belt to vacate his middleweight title to then move up to 168, challenge, you know, let's just say, or challenge Julio Cesar Chavez, and then he goes back down to 160, face Gennady Golovkin for his, you know, duo matches, and then after that he bumps up to 175 to fight Sergey Kovalev, which, you know, that wasn't even a fight. That was just pretty much just an easy payday or just an easy way out. So yeah, Canelo, he's been wasting this whole time fighting nobodies, because if we can just be honest here, let's just take a look at the notable matches he's actually had that has been giving him problems for his career. Hold on, give me 1 second. I apologize. Apologies. Alright, so going back to his box rec. If we even start out ever since his very first actual good fight, I would say, yeah, he's been fighting since 2005, so like 15. Yeah, that's like really funny and very weird. Yeah, let's see. Let's see, what's his good fight? I would say, yeah, Lovamor Endo. Yeah, that guy, he was... Yeah, didn't he fight Floyd Mayweather? Yeah, he actually fought Kell Brook and Philip Endo. Yeah, and he actually won the IBO. Oh, and then he lost to Polly. Yeah, so ever since the Endo fight, the Lovamor Endo, I guess that was a decent fight. And then after that, he then moved, you know, or he then, I guess, fought at maybe he fought at 154 against Ricky Hatton's brother for the WBC, you know, World Silver or the World Super Welterweight title. So that was after the silver welterweight title against Lovamore. So after him fighting Matthew Hatton, that's what kind of gave him like the rise to his career. And then after that, he fought Ryan Rhodes, which I don't even know that guy. Yeah, I don't even know that guy. Doesn't seem too interesting. And then he fought no names. Yeah, Alfonso Gomez, Kermit St. John. He fought Shane Mosley, which that's weird. He fought Shane Mosley like pretty much at the very end of his career, but yeah, he won by unanimous decision, which was weird. Knocked out Josecito, so yeah, that's a decent win to say the least. I mean, the Shane Mosley fight, like Mosley wasn't even in his prime, or not even at that level. I mean, even at that time, what Mosley was, you know, I want to say at least, yeah, he was like, yeah, from 2012, from 19. Oh my God, work calculator, what are you doing? I apologize, guys. Sorry. I'm using my fan through USB to connect my mouse. Yeah, minus 1971. Hold on. Yeah, he was 41 at the time, so he wasn't even at his all-time best fighting, Canelo. Then after that, he fought Josecito, knocked him out. Then he fought Austin Trout, which, I mean, a lot of people thought Trout won that fight. He, obviously got worked in that fight, and it was super close. Don't know how the first judge gave him 118 at 109. That doesn't make any sense. But the two other judges, that was super close. So, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Plus, he was undefeated at that time, too. Floyd Mayweather beat him. That was the biggest win ever for Floyd. Beat the living crap out of Canelo. Then he comes back, knocks out Angulo. Had a very close fight against a slick and well-skilled Erislandy Lara. And then after that, he cherry-picked, knocked out James Kirkland, fought Miguel Cotto after he came off of a hard loss. So he didn't even really give Cotto, a good, fight per se. That was more like a give-me fight or a gimme fight. After that, Amir Khan KO'd him, but as we all know, Amir Khan, he has a glass chin, so he probably just got caught at the wrong time and then lost. And then on top of that, he was actually winning on the scorecards too. And then after that was Liam Smith, KO'd him in round 9. And after that, it was Julio Cesar Chavez. And that fight was absolutely boring. Gennady Golovkin, that was a fight that Golovkin technically won, but many say Canelo won, which is weird. The second fight, Golovkin, quote, technically got owned, but that doesn't make any sense. Canelo won the second rematch, and then he fought a crappy Rocky Fielding at 168, which, I mean, he could have fought Benavidez, but no, he wants to fight a crappy Rocky Fielding. Then after that, Daniel Jacobs, to whom gave him a real fight, but still Jacobs wasn't really at the best at that time either. So, I mean, that was a little bit of a challenge. And then after that fight, he just fights Kovalev 6 months later and knocks him out in 11 rounds, which Kovalev wasn't even in good condition fighting him. So, yeah, Canelo, he can fight. He can fight the best if he wants to, but he's not fighting the best. we can see that Canelo, he's been avoiding Charlo ever since day one. And Charlo has been saying that he's been calling out Canelo and wanting to fight him. And I guess him and his team has worked extremely hard to send out the contracts to have Canelo sign it. But it seems like Canelo, he does not have the balls to fight Charlo. Um, I think, honestly, after that Floyd Mayweather loss really destroyed Canelo. And Canelo does not want to see another fighter like that again in his life. So I think Floyd Mayweather definitely destroyed his confidence and I guess his legacy, because he knows that if he ever runs into another guy similar to Floyd Mayweather or at that Jermall, Charlo, or Demetrius Andrade level, Canelo's going to get worked. Canelo knows deep down, like, I'm going to say all this crap as much as I want, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to do anything, at at a level where, I'm a slick fighter and I can basically fight anybody at any type of style and I can still win the fight. No, Canelo, he's going to get worked. Canelo knows that if he fights Charlo, right now, at this time, Charlo is going to knock him out, and Canelo is not that type of fighter to handle a tricky fighter like Charlo or even Andrade or shit, even guys like, I don't know, David Benavidez or just anybody that has been the top middleweights of the current era. So yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say, man. Canelo, he's been the one responsible avoiding Charlo, and if he wants to save his career, he better start fighting Charlo, Andrade, and I'd say David Benavidez or Caleb Plant. Either way, Canelo, he is not pound for pound. He is the biggest pussy in boxing. He is pussy for pussy. That's basically, yeah, pussy for pussy. That's basically what Canelo is. I'm sorry, but y'all Mexicans are not looking too good. Canelo is a lying scumbag and a cheater, along with Luis Neri and all the other crappy Mexicans. So, if y'all want to keep your reputation in good standing, I think it's time for you to start, fixing up your image for your fighters. So, all right, I'll see y'all later. Have a good night. Peace. Bye.